What's up guys, AJ here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about going from the grind phase to the thrive phase as a real estate agent. I got started all the way back in 2013, and my first year I had this affirmation when I was prospecting sellers, and it went like this: 20 contacts a day keeps the bill collectors away. You see, when I got into real estate, it was a must do. It wasn't, let's try this real estate thing and see if it works. It was, I have to make this happen. And it wasn't for extra income. It was to provide for my wife and myself. Let's be real. There's going to be things in your real estate business that you just don't want to do. Lead generation being one of them, and lead generation being one of the most important things, or the most important thing you can do in your real estate business. So I found that affirmation kept me going every single day. Then about a year later, once I was listing 4 to 6 homes per month and making great money, my affirmation became 20 contacts a day keeps the dream in play. And that dream at the time was a house on the lake there in Lake Norman, North Carolina, just outside Charlotte. And now the way that I live and the things that I have is much greater than that first dream. But that's what got me started in the real estate business, was that mindset. And what I want to share with you today is, recently I was being interviewed by a friend, Cliff Freeman, on his podcast in Dallas, Texas, live in studio. I really talk about that mindset, grind phase versus the thrive phase. So let me know what you think. If you like the video, post it in the comments. If you have questions, post it in the comments. Would love to hear from you. So I got into real estate because that financial freedom. Like I read Rich Dad Poor Dad in high school, and not having a lot of money growing up, it was a big driving force for me to eventually be wealthy, because I saw all the problems that come with not having enough money. It's a real thing. I think it's one of the #1 reasons for divorce. I've been married 12 years. To my beautiful wife, Abby, if you're watching this.
Two beautiful kids.
Two beautiful kids now.
God's miracle.
Strike and Bella, 2.5 and 7 months almost. Yeah. So I was thinking, like, with joining, like, getting into real estate after reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, was the financial freedom. Like, I wanted that. I wanted to pursue that. I wanted to build wealth. I didn't want to have the issues that not having money has. And becoming a real estate agent, it kind of, like, makes it even worse. Because now, like, especially when you're newer or even experienced, like, I talked to so many agents. I've talked to countless independent brokers, countless team leaders, countless top producers, looked at their P&Ls, lifted up the hood of their business and really looked at their numbers with them. And if they weren't selling real estate, they're not making any money. That's the problem with our industry. There's so many vanity metrics out there. They got a trophy on stage. So, the people in the crowd, like me when I started, I'm admiring them. But you see what's going on in their home. They're getting divorced. They're never home. Their kids are like, what's going on? So I didn't want that. So at Keller Williams, it kind of felt like I was on that path a little bit. Although I did have a pretty good business. It was a smaller business. I was making about $20,000 a month, selling about 80 to 90 homes a year. I was probably working like 30 hours a week, because I've always been of the mindset of, like, in my mind, like, I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur. Like, I want to live life first, and only work to essentially serve the people I'm called to serve, and then also pay for my lifestyle. So it wasn't that bad, but I was like, the thing that bothered me about being a full-time real estate agent at the time was, even if I was home for dinner or on the weekends or on vacation, and I was a listing agent, so I did have some better control of my time, was lack of presence of mind. Thinking, oh, I got to call that seller and get a price reduction. We haven't had a lot of those in the last few years, but they might be coming. The market looks pretty good still, so we'll see. But price reductions, or that buyer you thought that was gonna, write a contract on a house, they call you up and they say they just wrote an offer on a new construction house without you, and all these little things that go on as real estate agents. Like, I just wanted to be present when I was at home, and it was a lot of stress. It was a lot of nights where it's like I'm finishing dinner and then I gotta go write an offer or review offers. And I started this conversation with, I wanted financial freedom, time freedom, and location freedom. But what I discovered, and this is pretty recent within the last 6 months, what I was really after was a fourth freedom that I really didn't know existed. And now I refer to it as mindset freedom. I thought that the money, I thought that the time, I thought that being able to live anywhere I want and travel anywhere I want was going to buy me mindset freedom, where I didn't have worry, I didn't have stress, I didn't have anxiety. I was able to be fully present with my loved ones. And I do have financial freedom, I do have time freedom, I do have location freedom now, and I've had it for several years. But that doesn't magically allow mindset freedom to show up. So that's been a lot of what I'm working on now, is the mindset part of it, to continue to just be present. We just live in a world where there's so many things coming at us, it's hard to do. but it's almost impossible to do, I think, without financial freedom.
Yeah. You know, some people are watching this show looking at you going, God, you're making all this money passively and everything. And, you know, it would take 1,000 rental properties for you to have the same cash flow that you're making now and everything. But the road here hasn't always been that easy. And I want you to, if you would, share with the audience a little bit about how important having discipline is, getting to where you are.
Man, discipline is something that I still struggle with. And I kind of think of discipline as discipline creates freedom. And I think a lot of agents get their license to be their own boss, to have freedom. And then they don't have discipline, so then they're like entrapped by their real estate career, and they have like no freedom because they don't have the discipline. What allowed me to have discipline in my real estate career was a high necessity. I had a mantra that I would say to myself, because I moved from Michigan to California for a few years, then all the way to North Carolina, and that's where I sold real estate. And I was running a failing painting company. I always say I was paint job to paint job. I wasn't doing that well. My wife's grinding away 14, 15 hours a day as an ICU nurse. Horrible quality of life. If you're a nurse, amazing. It's such a hard job. Amen. Kudos to you. Yep. But it just wasn't working. So I was like, I got to do this. So the first 6 months I was like trying everything. You show up to your office and you're hearing about all these different like trainings. You can do open houses, you can do online lead generation, you can call expired listings, for sale by owners, go to networking events. So I was like soaking it all up because I'm a learner, and I tried everything. And what I've learned is if you take a shotgun approach, you're not likely to have success. So I was like, man, I got to do something. So July, I heard a real estate conference was going to be in Vegas that I don't remember how I heard about it, but I put the ticket on my credit card. I show up to Las Vegas. I'm wearing my cheap suit. I was 26 at the time. It was probably from my high school homecoming, And I was sitting there all excited and just kind of thinking to myself, like, okay, this is it. Like, I see the people in the front. They got the nice suits. They're wearing the one-on-one coaching badges, meaning they're spending a lot of money on coaching. And I'm like, this is going to be it, because what I hadn't been doing was taking consistent action, not having discipline. I was trying all these different things thinking that one was going to be the magic bullet.
Throwing them at the wall, seeing what would stick.
I wasn't yet ready to commit to the hard work. And all of those strategies I mentioned work, but you got to work one until it works. So I'm sitting there, and I'm so excited. I crossed my leg over the other one to take notes on my leg, and I notice I have a hole in my shoe. And I'm like,
I remember you telling that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, man, it's like, okay, so I've been an entrepreneur since I was like 12, knocking on doors, shoveling snow in Michigan growing up. And I worked full time since I was 14. And I was like, I'm 26. I live in the best country in the world. And yet I have a hole in my shoe. And sure, I probably could have bought a cheap pair, but I wasn't destitute. Everyone has a credit card these days, but I had a hole in my shoe. That's a standard that I don't allow. I mean, I'm wearing crispy white, brand new Nike shoes right now. Like that, that's like what I wear now. That's my standard. I want to present myself well. I don't want to wear a scuffed up hole in the shoes. And I'm thinking, my wife's back home working 14, 15 hours a day. I'm here in my cheap suit from high school, hole in my shoe. What's going to change this time? And it just hit me. It's like, enough's enough. So I said, now's the time. So I got home, I hired a coach on a credit card, and my mantra became, It was 20 contacts a day keeps the bill collectors away. So,
ooh,
yeah.
Wow,
and then,
I like that one.
Yeah.
That's very good. And it also keeps you front of mind with that as well.
Because that's what I call the grind phase. So that's when you need the discipline. As soon as I got to thrive phase, I was done being disciplined in my work, because I don't like discipline. I like discipline in some areas, but I'm very like, I could be out in the woods, like mountain biking, like every day, snowboarding, fishing, like doing fun stuff. Like I'm not going to be at my desk every day. Like I still see, like I was a Mike Ferry trained agent. I still see Mike Ferry agents that were on stage when I was there 10 years ago. They're still on stage. It's like your life is passing you by. And for some people, it's their hobby, it's their passion, it's their life to sit there and prospect all day for 20 years. That's not me. That was a chain on a ball. Like I was looking outside one day, I remembered there was people digging ditches to put in the new fiber optic cable going to our office. And I admired probably not, I envied what they were doing, because I had all the stress in my life. I was grinding away, people hanging up on me all day long. And they just got to clock in, dig some ditches, clock out, go home to their family, and enjoy the rest of their lives. Whereas an agent, you're always like thinking about it. So grind phase, when you have a necessity to be disciplined, it's a lot easier. So I don't know if I have any tips around being disciplined other than find like what is like that necessity. And then once I had the thrive phase, my business changed a little bit. And then I had the mantra, because I was still prospecting a little, probably half the amount in thrive phase, but it became 20 contacts a day keeps the dream in play. So now I went from scarcity mindset, like I just got to keep these bill collectors away. I got to, pay my rent, pay my car payments, to 20 contacts a day keeps the dream in play, to have that house on the lake, to have a Lamborghini one day, a Range Rover, to take exotic vacations with my family, to be able to help out family in need and things like that, and give to charity and all those amazing things that you get to do when you have money. And it all came true a lot faster than I thought it was going to because of EXP. Thanks for watching that video. If it resonated with you, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. If I can do anything to help you, let me know. There's a way to partner with me in the description. You can email me, hit me up on Facebook, Instagram. You can find me all those places. If you want to start making those 20 contacts a day to either keep the bill collectors away or keep that dream in play, well then I can hook you up with a discount code to RedX. That link's in the description as well. So I will see you in the next video.